You need a sewing machine with 4 key features. It needs to be able to make a straight stitch, a zigzag stitch, a back stitch, and you need to be able to control the stitch tension. And with that, I could probably just end the video right now and it would be totally fine. I think you should subscribe. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna elaborate for you. Let's start off with the straight stitch. If you went into your closet and you examined all of your store-bought clothes, they're gonna have a straight stitch on them already because that's how they were manufactured. But the problem is that straight stitch, it's no bueno. It's really ugly. It's really unflattering. You're not a fan of it at all. So what you can use your sewing machine to do is put a new straight stitch on there where you want it to be, that looks a lot more appealing and a lot more flattering. And that straight stitch that's on your garment as it came from the store, as you got it from the manufacturer, it is 2.5 millimeters in length, meaning each individual stitch is, guess how long? 2.5 millimeters. And the next type of stitch that you want your machine to have is that zigzag stitch that I mentioned. And this one is, it's similar to a straight stitch, but it's a little bit different too. It's a different, same. Because when you sew a zigzag stitch, not only is your sewing machine needle, is it going in a straight line like it normally would, the needle is also traveling from side to side as it goes forward and back. And it's gonna end up kind of overlapping and wrapping up that raw edge that you have in there so it doesn't just get all frayed on you. Because a common question that I usually get in the comments is, hey, do I cut off that extra fabric? Well, yeah. I bet you thought your phone froze, didn't you? Gotcha. Keep watching. Now I kind of forgot what I was saying though. Oh yeah, you cut off that extra fabric, yes, leaving about 5/8 of an inch on the edge there. And that's what we call a raw edge. Now that edge, since you cut it, it's gonna just get all nasty and frayed, and fabric doesn't like to be cut like that, so we need to use our band-aid stitch to kind of, sew it up and stitch it up. Does it have to be 5/8 of an inch? No. It's really not the end of the world if it's not, but that's just kind of the general standard. And the back stitch really actually isn't a stitch that you're gonna use at all. At least it's not a primary stitch you're gonna use, because all a back stitch means, and a back stitch setting on your machine means, is you're just locking in that stitch. So what's gonna happen is you're gonna sew forward by a couple of millimeters when you start any kind of stitch, and then you're gonna press and hold. It's usually gonna be a lever, your back stitch lever. You're gonna press and hold it. It's gonna reverse the direction of your machine, so you're gonna sew back over what you just did, let it go, and then go forward, and then you're good. So it locks it in, make sure that it doesn't unravel on you later on down the road. And generally speaking, yes, most sewing machines do have a back stitch lever. I have come across some in the past that do not, but there is a way to work around that. It's a little bit, you're gonna have to use some math, and by that I mean you're gonna take your garment, you're gonna sew forward, and then you're gonna have to just spin it around. What is that? 180 degrees. Like if it was here and then it's up here, that's 180, right? I think it is. Got to spin it around and then sew forward again, even though it's the opposite direction, and then spin it around again and then go forward. It'll make sense if you actually try it, or if you understand 7th grade math better than I do. Oh man. And you also want to be able to control the stitch tension with your sewing machine. Now the stitch tension, that one kind of tricks people up a little bit. Because it works in like the opposite way that you think that it would. But once you understand it, it's totally easy. For thinner materials, you want a tighter tension, and then for thicker materials, you want a looser tension. Not the other way around. I know, it kind of doesn't really make any sense, but it is what it is. To give you a better, more specific example, let's use jeans. Oftentimes people think that because jeans are thick, you have to use a really tight tension to kind of, make sure that stitch is nice and tight and locked in and doing its job, right? You don't want to do that. Because if your tension is too tight, it's going to end up putting a lot of unnecessary strain on that stitch, and it's not going to be as strong as you want it to be. Generally speaking, a higher number is going to be a tighter tension, and a lower number is going to be a looser tension. It's pretty easy. Now you know what features to look for in a sewing machine. How about where to actually find a sewing machine? Like, where do you look? What do you look for? I don't get it, SD. It's in the next video. I'll see you over there. SD out. Double deuces. Sort of, I guess.